Hey, Go Knucklers, welcome back to a special edition on a Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday at 1 o'clock. You know what I forgot to tell you, Lisa?
What?
Is to grab a something, a shot of something to celebrate. What are we celebrating today?
Oh my gosh, our 2 year anniversary. I can't believe it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. 2 years, man. From the day I text you, I think I text you, I said, hey, do you have a minute to talk? And pitched it to you, and it's and
Here it is.
you didn't hesitate, did you?
No, no, I didn't. I think I didn't hesitate because I had such a cathartic experience going to our 40-year high school reunion. It opened up some things inside and moved me in ways that I did not anticipate, and it brought some closure in some ways and healing in other ways, and I didn't want to let the magic end. I I played all the songs that we played that night on my drive back to Dallas, and I just I think I was just really really surprised by how I felt, and I jumped on board because I didn't want to lose experience. But before we go on, I was really thinking a lot about this cheer reunion. I hope I can say all this without bawling, okay? Because I'm a very sappy person. You know, we've had a lot of amazing guests, and we're so appreciative to all our subscribers and viewers. But I was thinking about over the years the things that you have done to bring classmates together. I was thinking about the first NRR that I went to, and you are a connector of people, Flo, and you have spent years and years and years, organizing events to bring classmates together, not just our classmates from our class, but from all of Plainview. And you continue to do that. This is just another platform. This is like a mini NRR. And I'm so grateful to you. I mean, you have some brother. I mean, just seriously.
Hey,
I
this is
I
not on the script.
I know it's not. I know it's not. I wanted to surprise you with that because I think it needs to be acknowledge, if our classmates or people from Plainview don't acknowledge all the work that you have put through the years to bring classmates together and just have a good time. I mean, that is something to be celebrated, and I'm so grateful to you. The NRR experiences that of the two that I went to were so much fun, even though, again, there was tremendous trepidation on my part to reconnect with people, but they were a blast. And here we are 2 years later doing something that's really unique and unexpected for our hometown. And I hope that people really appreciate the effort that we go through, and especially you, because this is your brainchild. You do most of the legwork. I want to be very clear about that. I'm the supporting teammate, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. I love you so much, and I'm very blessed that you are my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Really, I don't know.
Now I want to
I
see
just
you
like.
cry.
No, I'm good. I like doing what I do. I always have. There's for no reason why. There's just yeah. The thing. My satisfaction is one. I get to see people, classmates that I grew up with, and get to connect, reconnect, and follow and catch up. And the other thing too is when I see two classmates, that haven't seen each other in 30 plus years. And I'm not saying classmate, but I'm just saying people from high school. It could be 2 years apart, two people from 2 years apart,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing themselves for the first time. And see their joy in their eyes. And that just touches me. And that's my satisfaction right there. So, but I really appreciate it. So,
Yeah.
for the guys, most people don't know that how we started this is from the 40th reunion 3 years ago, and I noticed all the tables on Saturday night during our dinner. Every table was laughing hysterically. I mean, talking about laughing, and I knew that they were all sharing stories. And I was like, I got to get I got to get this on YouTube or get it, start a podcast and then get bring people together and share our stories growing up in Plainview and walking those hallways at PHS. So And I reached out to Lisa and also another classmate, but anyway, but Lisa, it's definitely I'm thankful that she said yes, because she's the vocabulary, when it comes to the podcast, because I'm like half this words she said, I'm like, what? I gotta look it up in the dictionary. But funny
Hardly,
story.
hardly.
Yeah, funny story. We're writing notes and stuff for the shows, and she used a word. And I said, Lisa, I would never use that word. If I use that, people would say that's bullshit, Flo. You didn't come up with that word. And you're like, you damn right I didn't. Lisa wrote it for me. But anyway, thank you. So, you kind of you want to maybe go down the list of some of the shows we've had the last 12 months.
Yeah, go down memory lane. Yeah, the other
Yes,
thing I
absolutely.
want to say about our show is that you know we're getting to know our classmates of all ages. From way back when, and even younger people than us. That we're getting to know people in a different way, even though we're reminiscing. Getting to visit with people and hearing their stories when we're hearing things that we didn't know about each other. And I think that has been a real bonding and connecting experience with people from our hometown. And I think it's brought such an immense appreciation for growing up in West Texas. And that I think goes for all the people we've had on our show that have been from, Hereford, Lubbock, the Midland, Odessa area. Just how privileged and lucky we were to grow up during the era that we did. And that has been a very common theme through almost all of our podcasts.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that. I
Yeah. So
totally agree with that.
let's go down memory lane of
Hold on. I'm going to type
this
something
past year.
and let everybody know that we're live. Let me do this real quick. And
Okay.
okay, you know what? I want you to go ahead and start, and let me do this real quick.
Okay. Well, one of the shows that we did that we did in 2025 that made me laugh really hard is we had some folks from the class of 80 come on and talk about their friendships and their experience and all that stuff. But what I remember about that podcast that made me laugh so hard was Rosie Rios uh, talking about she and Lewis were at a basketball game and Kevin Igo came in, and I guess he'd been working at their pig farm or something, and came to the basketball game dirty and sat in between them and stunk so badly. And just to hear Rosie share that story and Kevin chime in, and he'd forgotten about that, but I cannot imagine, you know, what compelled him to show up like that, stinking like a pig.
Well, yeah, I guess he must have had a child playing, and it's like, doesn't I don't care, what I smell or look like. I got to make to my kid's game. I assume that's why he did it.
I guess
Yeah,
so. That was funny though. That really made me
yeah.
laugh. And it was
Hey,
just fun on that show to hear about their friendship, and to reminisce.
absolutely. Hey, I want to make a quick announcement before we go back to memory lane. I am working with a big name to come on our show. She's agreed, but she's a very, very busy woman. I'm talking about very busy woman. So it's going to be contingent on her schedule. Well, Plainview, she is a graduate of 95, and she's a field reporter, or has been a field reporter for the Texas Rangers since I think 2006, and that's Emily Jones. So we've been going get back and forth and trying to find a good date for her to come on, and so she is. It's going to be a great show.
I can't wait.
Yep. So I can't wait.
It,
So
it,
guys, again, keep your fingers crossed, and let's hope we can get her on soon. Anyway, Hereford. I remember when we first had our Hereford and Plainview episode, and that had Aubrey Richburg, Don DeLozier, and I forgot the guys. Some Waters, and I think it was Mo and Braddock, and I'm not sure if there's another. But anyway, I remember one of the guys mentioned from Hereford, either Don or Aubrey, had lent his car to I'm gonna say Aubrey. Aubrey lent his car keys to Don, and Don was he took it, and then about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I think he was driving back home. Well, he's at a red light. He stops and he looks over to his right or his left, and he sees Aubrey's dad. And they get locked. They locked up eye to eye.
Hey, it was
And
a
I was,
rut-row.
it's like, oh shit. So nothing was said, if I recall, but when Judgment Day came, Aubrey, his dad spoke, and I mean there was very little words spoken because the dad just says, "Give me your keys, just give me your keys," and it took his car away for 30 days.
Was
So
it 30 days? Is that? Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
remember
I
that.
think he said I think he said for 30 days, man. It was 30 freaking days.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay, lady. Since it was Alan, not Aubrey. My bad. Okay, Alan.
Yes, thank you. We
Alan
need
Waters.
correction.
Okay, thank you, Lydia, for correcting me. But it was back of almost a year ago. So that was
Yes, and we're losing our memory, especially me in my old age.
I know, right? Right.
Yes, I couldn't remember the
Let's see.
players. I just knew it was somebody had borrowed somebody's car, and like, oh no. That's the thing about growing up in small towns. You don't get away with shit. You don't.
No, you
Everybody,
don't, man.
because everybody knows everybody. Your parents know everybody. The police know everybody. I mean, there is no getting away with stuff. I
No,
mean,
it happened to me and Andrew and Danny Perez. We were, middle of the night heading back home. We snuck out and we ran. We were on the high school premises, and we ran across to that convenience store right there at the 16th and Quincy. And we go in there and we go to the back, and then Willie McGee, one by one, finds us and says, "Come here, guys." I'm like, "Oh shit!" And he goes, "What were y'all doing at the high school?" And like, we weren't at the high school. We were just, walking by. And he said, "What were y'all doing this late at night?" I said, "Well, we went to visit some girls and stuff." And just to make a long story short, he says, "If anyone breaks in during the weekend, we're gonna come see. We're gonna come to you guys first, and we're gonna discuss this." And another thing that he said, he looked at me and looked at Andrew. He goes, "I know you guys. I know your dads." I'm like, "Oh shit." Sure enough, so he let us go. And then a month later, my dad says, "Hey, yeah, what's up?" He goes, "Talk to Willie McGee." And I'm like, "Oh shit." So he threatened to take my keys away. No, I didn't have a car then, did I? No, I guess I didn't because I wouldn't be walking. He just said, "Next time you do it, I'm gonna spank you. I don't care how old you are. I will get a belt on your ass." I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, Dad." So yeah, small town, you cannot get away with stuff at all. So, but anyway, going back to some of the shows, there was a show from the Odessa girls, I think 78 or 79, the Alice Pits. And one thing I remember from that show was that there was a place just like we would hang out, like at Fifth Street. They hung out somewhere in Odessa. And there was a convenience store that they walked to and use the facilities, the bathroom. And one of the girls, oh yeah, yeah, I'm sorry, you have to go to the counter to get a key, and I think it was on the outside, and you got to anyway unlock the bathroom to use it. One of the girls kept the key and went across the street to a hardware store and made copies, and so that way when the stores closed, I guess it wasn't a 24/7 store, it maybe closed at 11. But then when they were closed, the girls would have a key to go use, when they needed to go. I was like, damn, that's pretty ingenious at 17 or 18 years old.
I thought that was brilliant.
It is.
It's easy for boys to go pee outside, but not for
Yeah,
girls. Especially at that age, you don't want to go outside and squat. Plus, there's no privacy.
absolutely.
So I thought, man, those girls were really smart. It was fun listening to their camaraderie and how close they were. That was a lot of fun.
And that's what's cool about bringing other schools. Yes, it's not for our for Plainview, but it's cool to hear the different perspective of how they grew up in another city, and it's similar to ours. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
completely, completely. I mean, that's why we can relate. We all have the West Texas experience. It's very
Yeah.
similar, different town, similar friendship, similar experiences.
So hey, so let's bring in a couple. We got a couple of people would like to come on and maybe share some stories, and so we're gonna bring in Mrs. Alicia Kirsch, who's a two-timer.
Hi.
Hey, and we have Linda Gazer. Hello, Linda.
Hi.
Hi, Linda.
Hello, Lisa and Lisa
Who's
and
she's
Flo.
she's been on our show. So hello, ladies. Hello. So thank you for coming on and joining the celebration of 2 years we've been doing this. So, Lisa, I want to ask you, how, what it was, Mrs. Pennell, Pennell. Linda, correct me. Is it Pennell or Pennell?
I mean, I say Pennell, but I think it's Pennell.
Pennell. Didn't she
Doesn't-
said after church or something, she went up to you, and I'll let you continue the story.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I was talking about Lisa. I'm sorry, Lisa Kirsch, Mrs. Kirsch.
We all go to the same church.
Oh,
We do.
my bad.
But maybe it's Linda. Did you have a conversation with Jeannie?
I did also, but you go ahead, Lisa.
So, well, she actually, Flo, it was before I was on. And that was our conversation. That was the first time I heard of your podcast. Was that Jeannie told me at church, we sit together, and she told me, she said, I was on a podcast. And she said, Goat Knuckle. She said, have you ever heard of Goat Knuckle? And I said, no. I said, yes, I have heard the phrase, but it's been a long time. And she was so excited. So I did get on and watch hers. And so that was my experience with that. That's the first I had heard of it. And so I thought right then, I thought this is such a great venue. It's something really, I think, that people can relate to and enjoy. And that was, like I said, my first exposure. And I was excited to be on the show a couple of times. And I think that Lisa and Flo, I have such great memories of the time when you were in school. And to me, you do have done it so professionally, so well. You have stirred up conversations. But that was the first time I'd heard of it. So
Well, go ahead.
Linda may have something to add there.
Well, let me bring one more
Thank
guest
you.
on.
Okay.
Victor Braddock in the house.
How y'all
Hi,
doing?
Victor.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. And Victor is the younger brother of Ronnie and Robert. And Robert, you've seen Robert plenty of times on our show. So, Victor, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, man. How
Good,
y'all
thank
doing?
you for coming on. Doing very well. So let me go back to Linda, and we'll definitely come to you. So, Linda, what do you want? You mentioned about anything. I mean, I would like to talk for you to talk about Mr. Brown, since you helped with the setup and also with the 85 reunion committee.
Okay. Well, so yeah, I started watching your podcast probably a little bit later after y'all first started. So I probably saw a few of them, but then the main podcast that I enjoyed was, of course, the Fun Bunch, because we did that with my line dancing group of friends. There was about 6 of us, and I don't know, it was crazy and wild because we were all like having our own little party. But that's when I really started thinking about our high school experiences. And, I don't remember a whole lot, but when, like you said, when people start talking about it, then you kind of start remembering things. So that's when I first started kind of watching you. And then, so Mr. Brown, of course, everybody knew he was our principal at Ash, and I went out to where he was living, and helped him set up with the podcast, as far as the laptop went and everything. And so that was an enjoyable one. And since then, I think a lot of people have found out that he had done that since he's passed away.
Right.
So, we're going to have that forever to look back at. And then, of course, we did our class of 85 reunion back in September, and there was, I think, about 7 or 8 of us on that committee. And that was one of the ways I think that word got around too, that we were having our reunion. So that was a good thing. And we got to see people that were in Tennessee. Sean Hunter and William Hancock was on there from Spur. And so we got to see all those people. And yeah.
Well, the
So,
one thing I remember from y'all's 85 show was William, the character he is.
yeah.
He was changing hats during his show. I didn't notice it.
No one
I
noticed it, I don't think.
no one did. And I know Sean knew about it, but he just kept changing his caps and no one paid attention. Well, William, that should tell you, no one paid attention to you.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, he is a character just like he was in high school. But he's matured a little bit since he has a significant other, I think, right now. So
well,
I don't know.
those two are going to be on our show next Friday for
Yeah.
the Valentine's show. So we're excited about that. And the other thing with Mr. Brown, the one thing, and Elisa will say something about him as well, is how he got around back then when he was a young kid. He hitchhiked. He said he hitchhiked a lot from home to school to
From
work,
football
whatever it may
games.
be. I mean, I was like, dang. I mean, that's the life back then, back in the 50s, I guess. You didn't have to worry about abductions or anything like that. I mean, if there was very little of it. But he did it all the time to get around.
Yeah.
That shocked me. What about you, Lisa?
Well, what stands out for me Mr. Brown, I think, has a special place in a lot of people's hearts, but he definitely has that place in mine. And what really stood out for me in that interview was him sharing about how he thought that he was just not very smart or bright as a child and had no potential. And he never dreamt that he would go to the college was something that wasn't even on his radar, and that that somebody believed in him, and he didn't know he was smart till somebody believed in him, and he went to college and never dreamt that he'd be an educator. And just the fact that he touched so many lives, and that to me was so heartwarming, that he was really vulnerable to share that story, and it really touched my heart. It really did.
Yes.
I mean, he expressed through his own life and actions the capacity and fullness of human potential, and I think that was really heartwarming for everyone to hear from him.
Yeah, good man, very good man.
Yeah.
Victor, let's
Yes,
hear your
sir.
perspective. I mean, you haven't been on any of the shows. However, you do have a show coming up with you and some of your boys from football. Can you remind me of some of the names who are going to be on?
It's gonna be me, Bobby Gibson, Jimmy Porman, Dion Guerra, and Danny Bass.
And one of them's retired fire chief, I guess, from Plainview, or still a
That would
fire
be
chief?
Bobby Gibson.
Bobby. Okay.
Yes.
Well, cool. So what do you think about our show? I mean, from coming just from viewing it as a viewer.
I love it. I love it. My perspective is I like Facebook, but the thing that I don't like about Facebook is how toxic it has gotten, or a lot of social media. But what I like about this is how, and I even like this about Facebook, is how you connect with people that you hadn't seen for so long, but you don't see none of the toxicity on your platform like you do on other social media streams. It's all positive, and seeing people that you haven't seen in years, and listening to them talk, seeing how they're doing, and then not only that, hearing them talk and being able to relive some of the experiences that you did when you were a kid. I mean, I don't know, man. People look at me crazy at work, and I'd be like, man, if I could go back to the '80s, I'd do it in New York second, And I firmly believe that things were so simple back then, and I guess I don't know, maybe I'm a little nostalgic or whatever, but when I hear people talk about their stories, especially back during my era or my generation, I can't help but to go back to memory lane and think of some of the best times that I had and how quickly they went. I remember leaving summer practice or fall practice and driving by the high school, and my brother Ronnie saying, "Well, there's your future right there," and I'm like, whatever. And then I finally, later on, it clicked on what he was talking about as we drove by the high school. That's where I was going to be for the last 4 years of my school days, and unless I went to college, well, not period. My high school would be done. My public school years would be done. And it didn't really settle in until about my senior year.
Okay. Can you share a couple of stories that stand out from previous shows?
Uh, I have. I got an admission. I've been so busy, I haven't been able to watch. But the ones that really stand out to me is because my love of football, and the one with the '78 Plainview Bulldog team, or the Angry Red team, where with the Odessa Permian, that was so. What's the word I'm looking for? That was so. That was so cool, because I want to say I was in the third grade when that game was played. And I remember me, my middle brother, and my mom were in Lubbock, and she was listening to the game. And I remember kept thinking, "Hey, the Cowboys playing. I don't care," because I'm used to watching the pros play, but uh, I remember how good those guys were. And back then, you didn't get to see teams like Permian or Midland League play unless you saw them in the playoffs. So to hear these guys talk was like, to me, it was like watching legends, going back and watching legends reminisce about their times in high school. And my other one was the one you did with the 82, 83 Plainview Hereford football teams. That was because that game, I tell people today, that was the absolute best high school football game I've ever seen. Um, for the game to be sold out by what, Tuesday or Wednesday of that week, standing room only. Uh, that was a very larger than life experience. I didn't think I was gonna get to watch it, to be honest, and I got lucky. I got lucky to go. And then the one that you had with Coach Selke really stuck out. To hear him talk about some of the guys that he mentored and coached was really huge. It was really huge. I've always had always special place in my heart for Coach Selke. He's always been good to me, brutally honest, uh, but it was in a good way. And sometimes you need that honesty. And I really like Coach Selke. I really do.
Okay, you know what? I like the when we were bringing two different schools like you mentioned Hereford and Monterey and Plainview. It's cool to hear the perspective from the other team and what they thought about us and how they
Yes.
got ready to play against your brother or B Terrell or Blake Morris, those guys, Steve
Well,
George. So
to me, the thing that made, like you mentioned, Monterey, and I haven't got to watch that one. I've been meaning to, and I haven't got to watch that one. But the thing that made that so cool was Jay Douglas was on that team, and I remember Jay when I was a kid, when I was a much younger kid. I remember, me and his brother John used to run around. In fact, I ran into John. Well, a couple years ago, I ran into John, and hadn't seen him in a while, but we grew up together. And but but seeing these guys off the field and seeing them interact off the field made it, I don't know, man, because you would think these guys would just hate each other's guts, but to see them hang out and just chat and like, man, these guys are just ordinary people, man. They just go to a different school, and I think that just made it so cool for me. As corny as it may sound, it made it real cool to me that these were actually cool folks. And I even go a step further. There's people in Hereford that I run into now, and that actually played on that team, or they played when I was a sophomore. There's a guy that was a nose guard when I was a sophomore named David Parsons. The guy was like the Hulk, but when you see him now, he looked like this. He's a hairdresser, but ain't nobody gonna clown him because he's one of the biggest hairdressers you ever seen. And I mean, he got that, the way he got his goatee trim, and he got his hair and everything. And the first time I met him, man, he was smacking on his gun. Yeah, yeah, what's up, man? What's going on? It's cool, yeah, real cool. And then we got to talking, and then it connected. I'm like, dude, you David Parsons, man. And I'm like, dude, I watched you kill our center, man, my sophomore year. And I mean, dude, he's not super nice dude, man, super nice guy. And but he was on the football field, he was larger than life.
Oh, cool.
Well, you know,
Thank you.
Victor, you hit on a common theme on all of the sports podcasts that we have is with rivals. Is that when we had them on, like the assumption was okay that rivalry still stands, but it wasn't. Everyone had respect for each other, even if
Yes.
they didn't like each other on the field. That was a common theme of every single sports podcast that we had, is this tremendous respect. And for a lot of the players that went on to play college ball, they ended up being on the same team in college or, beyond. And friendships came out of those rivalries. And that is like the thread that goes through every single one of those sports podcasts that we had.
You know,
Absolutely.
I helped run a youth football league for several years up here. And there was a guy whose kid played in our league, and he was from Hereford. And you talking about a small world. Uh, I bumped into him about 7 months ago, and we were reminiscing about some of that stuff. There was a coworker I had that was me and him worked. He was my field training officer when I first went on the street, and we were detectives together before he retired. He was on that 82 team, that 81, 82 Hereford team with Wayne High that almost went to state. He was a part of that team. And I mean, it's a small world. You know, you come across some of these people and you think you would never run into them ever again.
Right. Well, that's cool.
That's true.
Well, Linda, do you want to mention that one person that you're helping to get, or you want to? We don't have to announce it yet. We can wait, but it's
I
up to
mean,
you.
the one person, like which one?
The basketball player from '80s.
Oh, I mean, I have not heard back from her, but I mean, if we do get her, yes, it would be a great thing, I think. So can I mention her name?
Yeah, so I'm asking you. I'm
Oh,
asking your permission.
I mean, I think it would be okay. I think she'll still be my friend. Um, so Della Riggins from Class of '80, I talked to her the other day about possibly doing a basketball podcast, I guess. Is that what y'all call it? And I guess it would be maybe some of her teammates, hopefully.
Yeah, I would love to get her and Gail Hemfield on.
Oh,
Jeez, that would be
Yes.
a good show right there, man. That would be
working
definitely a
on
good
it,
show.
but you have to be patient because Della's a busy
I
lady.
know. I'm patient. So
No, he's
whenever
not.
she says yes.
So basketball season is, still here. It's fixing to be tracked. So yeah, but
Yeah,
we'll see what we can do.
that would be cool.
Couple of months.
Well, Mrs. Kirsch, let's go back to you. What did you think about your show? Well, we not your one individual, but with Mrs. Carlisle and Mrs. Oh, geez, Charles,
Chelsea.
Chelsea
Dixon.
Dixon. Yeah, Mrs. Dixon. Yes.
Right. So I enjoyed it, but today while we've been talking and also on both of those podcasts, it's the connections because like I'll say, one thing leads to another and it reminds you of these great memories. And just for instance, on here today, I didn't know who else would be on, but Linda, all the Gaither, I taught her whole family. That's one thing. Mr. Brown, that we talked about, he was my son and my husband's principal. I mean,
Wow.
of some capacity. So that's gone on forever. And Victor, I hope you remember this. Because it's
Uh-oh.
one of the things that touched my heart. Victor, a few years back, gave me a phone call. And I mean, I'm sitting right now in my office and I can see out to the front. And I was outside sitting at that
Were you
table.
warned of arrest? He's going to arrest you or something?
Yeah, I had a warrant, But no, Victor, occasionally I'll get a phone call like this and it just meant so much to me. He called me out of the blue and we reminisced. He thanked me for, I've always had the utmost respect for all the Braddocks. He's one too. I taught all the Braddock kids and Victor was one near and dear to my heart, but that phone call meant so much to me. We talked and one thing led to another. And so anyway, thank you, Victor.
Well, if you don't mind me saying, I did the exact same thing, I think, to you, Miss Carlisle, and Miss Berry. And in fact, when I called Miss Berry, you know how Miss Berry talks, she's like, "Hello," and I was like, it was like it was like she was waiting for a punchline or something.
Right.
And when I just said, I just like, "Hey, Miss Berry, I just want to say thank you for being the teacher that you were. Thank you for being my teacher." I just thanked her, because the main thing is I see what teachers go through now, and I realized how good I had it as a student. I realized how good I had it as a kid, and I just wanted to say thank you. I can't say that. I did that I did that to Coach Keith. I think I did that in a Facebook message, but I did that to Coach Keith, Coach McAdams, Coach Selke. I tried to do that with everybody. The one I wish I could have done it to was Miss McKnight. She was my fourth grade teacher. I even got to see Miss Dollar. She was my third grade teacher before she left, before she passed, and it was kind of funny because I was like, "Miss Dollar, you sure could swing a paddle." And she had her cane right there, and she was like, she kind of laughed because she was up there in age, and she, well, you turned out all right. I'm like, "Yeah, I did." I guess, man, but I just again, I tell you, I really thank y'all for I thank y'all for what y'all did. I think y'all were amazing. Y'all were awesome. Y'all did a wonderful job. Uh, and as youngsters, you don't see that, but I see when I look back now, we were very blessed, very fortunate to have you guys as our teachers, as our mentors, as a positive in our life. Thank you very much.
But Victor, too, the thing is that I so appreciate with all of that whole story is a lot of people think back and you go, wow, I really liked this one, but you actually did it. You actually called, you connected, and that means so much. And just one more note, Miss Berry, she taught me in high school. She was one of my
Wow.
mentors. She taught me in high school.
Wow. I
It
did not
was,
know
it was
that.
her first when she was very new. In fact, she wasn't even Miss Berry yet. She was Miss Owens, and then she became Miss Berry. But she taught me in high school and mentored me in that same field. So it just does. It means so much. So anyway, thank you
And,
for that.
and she put her ass in detention hall, did she, Miss?
Yeah, she did. For talking. For talking. Yeah.
Imagine that.
That's funny. Victor's, I heard you saying that. I think back to our experience of growing up in Plainview and the connections that we had to our teachers and principals, but more importantly to our teachers. We, I think, grew up in an era where the teachers that we bonded with were like a second mama or a
Yes.
second dad to us.
Yes.
I mean, I know I felt that way about several teachers. Like, I felt a sense of safety and love and nurturing that a mother would give. And I mean, I definitely can remember those teachers, especially in elementary school and even in high school. And to kids that are growing up, to have a mentor, an older adult that is not your parent, but that you have that sense of safety that you can go to and know that you're going to be accepted, seen, nurtured, loved, mentored, and guided is a precious and priceless gift. And I think that all of us in Plainview at one point or another can truly, honestly, and genuinely say that about a teacher from Plainview.
What you said, Lisa, right there hit it right on the head, because doing what I do, you go in and out of a lot of houses, and you see a lot of really bad things, and I mean, you see a lot of bad things, and a lot of kids are in really, really, really horrible conditions, and and again, that makes you more appreciative of what you have, and and some of the things that you might take for granted that other people don't have, and to see, to see a teacher that not only educates and teaches a kid, but they show a kid love, because they might not be getting love at the house. I tell you what, when I came up here, I didn't realize a lot of kids don't, when they go to school, that might be the only meal they get. I even heard administrators say, well, we waited till the last minute um, to shut school out, because of the weather, because we knew if we closed school too early, some of these kids would go home hungry. They wouldn't get a meal. And that's what they were waiting out for. Now, I mean, I'm just saying, you see that, and I mean, I don't know, man. You just you like I said, when I see the teachers that I had and I look back on the experiences I had some really awesome teachers.
One thing people can do, and I don't want to toot my own horn. Not this past school, the year before, I reached out to the elementary near us, and I asked him because I got the idea from a principal that lives in our neighborhood, and I asked him. I said, "Are there 3 kids that need money for their lunch?" And I gave each one kids, $100 in their account. So you're right, man. There's kids that they're starving to death because they want the
Yes,
money. So
yes,
you guys hear this. I hope you guys would do the same. Just reach out to an elementary to talk to the kid, to the principal, and just tell them what you want to do, and they'll accept it. So, but speaking of licks and vice principal, we're gonna have Mr. Larry Big B in a few
oh
weeks.
God.
Yeah. That little sore subject there, Victor.
Man, the last experience I had with Mr. Magby, I was in Miss Siegel's class, and I guess I got caught one time too many chewing gum, and she sent me to his class. I mean, sent me to his office, and I go bebopping in there, and he had 3 guys in his office, and I could hear him yelling. And they come out grinning. They weren't laughing, but they were grinning. But Mr. Magby was hot as fish grease. I mean, he was pretty angry. And I walk in there, and the first words come out his mouth, "You again." He said, he did this number. He said, I think I'm just going to call your dad. And I'm like, hey, whoa, wait a minute, Mr. McBeak. If maybe we can make a deal right here. And he like, I thought you were going to say that. And I could see him reaching down, and I'm like, oh, Lord, no. And man, and he hit me. I think he gave me 2 or 3. I can't remember if he gave me 3. I know he gave me 2. And I was just like, Vic, just get past the counter. Just get past the counter and get out the door, and then you can water up all you want, man. Because I wanted to cry. I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to cry. It hurt. It really did, man. It hurt. And I didn't chew gum again. Not in her class. Not, but
Sure.
That'll learn you, right?
Hell
yes.
yeah.
Oh man. Mr.
Well, guys, we don't
McBee.
want to keep you on here too long. I know Linda's out shopping with who? Who are you shopping with?
My friend from class of 85, but I think she deserted me. Like, I think there's so many wonderful little boutiques and stuff down here in downtown Plainview. So, yes, we wanted to come eat lunch at the Brew because they only serve lunch from like 11 to 1. So we came down here and we're just hanging out and having fun.
Oh, cool. Well, if you could, and then we'll let you guys go. Can you just say one word, or your kind of like your parting words about 2 years of Go Knuckle Talk with Flo?
So I did actually go back and watch your very first
Oh, geez.
podcast. It said intro on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very enlightening. I did not remember watching that before, if I did. So I thought, I'm going to go back to the very beginning. And when y'all first started this, I know that y'all were very focused on PHS alumni from your class of 83, but then I kind of like the way that y'all have pulled in other classmates, and then also, like Victor said about the other rivalry schools that we, didn't know much about. I mean, y'all probably knew a lot more than I did about all those games and stuff, but it's kind of interesting to me because I was in band, but I had fun playing with my friends and stuff. But it's kind of interesting to hear the other teams' viewpoints and discuss things that I didn't know. So yeah.
Yeah, we've come a long way since when we first started. I mean, it was like with the trial and error. Was it Lisa? Help me with my words.
Trial and error.
Trial and error. There was a
trial
lot
by
of it.
trial by fire.
There you go. There was a lot of that. And
I enjoy it.
our first show was Alex Gonzalez and Richard Rubio from our class. They were musicians. We talked about that, but actually, our first show was with Lloyd Griffith. But my internet was so horrendous, I kept freezing and locking up, so we had to just stop and reschedule it.
Yeah,
Do you remember that, Lisa?
yeah, we did. We had to recalibrate.
and that's when we decided, like, hey, Lisa's got the Zoom. We'll just have Lisa. We'll just use Lisa's, and it worked. It worked very well. Belinda, thank you. You've been one of our biggest supporters for our show. Thank you very much.
And a big help with some projects and stuff. And so, yes, thank you so much.
Yes, and hopefully you can get Della Riggins. Can you think you can get an answer to me by 2 o'clock? I mean, 2 o'clock, right? What time is it? 1:45.
No, I'm shopping. I'm sorry.
Well, thank you. You can stay around, or you can go. Or I'm going to go to Mrs. Kirsch and ask her for her parting words. But you're welcome to leave or stay. But thank you, Mrs. Kirsch.
Well, I just want to thank y'all for doing this, because I know in a project like this, a lot of times it's once you get into it, you see what a huge undertaking it is. But just in my job that I do now, working in so many different schools with new teachers, I would say the same thing, because I go to Monterey. I've worked in Hereford at their schools, and it is neat to see a different perspective of Plainview, and to go through, so many years, like, and from teaching to administration, and seeing the changes and having that affirmed so much by the people that I've seen on your show. So I'm just saying, y'all keep it up. It's been great fun for me, and I hear really positive things. So I just commend y'all and say, keep going.
Oh,
thank
you
and you're
so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome to come back anytime. Just get a hold of us. You got our numbers. Just, hey, I got an idea. Especially if we get Mrs. Berry, I'd like to get him and Mr. Berry on. That will be a beautiful.
Yes.
Love to get him, because he was big. Mr. Berry was big in our lives, but in 5th grade.
Yes.
The quiet teacher. So
thank
man,
y'all.
if you can help out, but thank
you,
Mrs.
Lisa.
Karsh.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
their Saturday. Well, Victor.
Yes,
your
sir.
Last one. Hey, I do want to bring up something was great was the school days with Trampus and
Man, I missed that
Holland.
one. I had to go back and watch that. Yes, I know exactly which one. Yes.
You need to watch it, because oh my God, they had us rolling.
Yeah.
I mentioned about Russell's Barbecue there on 5th Street.
Oh,
and,
man.
And Trappist goes, there was some guy across his tracks. What was it? And it started with L. But anyway, there was like a person across his tracks that was like much better than Russell's. And Trappist, like, we used to have, we ate everything, but mostly we used to have barbecue sandwiches. I'm like,
yep.
No, barbecue sauce sandwiches.
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
Barbecue sauce sandwiches. He goes, yeah.
You have nothing else.
Because because this sauce was so good and we were so poor. We would just put some of that sauce and 2 pieces of bread. And then he goes, man, I would sometimes go, empty the trash so he could throw a rib bone in there.
Oh my God. Yes.
I mean, those guys had us rolling. And what was the other thing, Lisa? Their entrepreneurship.
Gosh. Yeah, they put together this big old house party and played a movie and played music and charged people for it, and got chairs, and I'm like, wow, that was really big time during the day. What a just the entrepreneurship of that, how smart they were to put that together. Maybe they should have. They were the first ones that started house parties. Do you remember what they charged, like $5 a head or something?
Something like that. It was a lot.
Didn't they DJ or something?
Yeah, Hollis was a DJ. Yeah,
okay.
They had it at someone's home, and also they had it at some community center there.
The community center one was a big one. Didn't they do the house one and thought, okay, yeah, this is a big deal, let's do it again? They did it at the community center.
Yeah, so that was that. If you haven't watched that one, Victor, you definitely need
I will, man. I'm gonna have to go back. There's a couple of them I definitely want to go back and watch, but that's one of them for sure.
It's hilarious. You're gonna laugh the whole time that you watch.
There's some other football ones I'm working on. Irvin Davis, Royce, and Kenneth Story to do their to get those
That'd be
three.
good. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
One other, and then I'm gonna try. I'm working on an '80s football one, and so I'm working on several. So we're booked. I mean, we're booked for the next 2 months, but still, man, I'd just like to have our calendars full So
Exactly. No, I feel you. Yeah.
but hey, but anyway, thanks, man, for coming on a taking time off on a Saturday, and we'll look forward to your show, man. So we look
Um,
forward.
man, if I can add, I love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I think it is awesome of what you two are doing because, man, yeah, we get old and everything, but everybody like going down memory lane and that's I think about my school days all the time, and it's really nice to relive them through other people's stories, and not just your own memories, because hearing other people's stories refresh your memory of some things or a lot of things. And I really like what y'all doing. I think it's awesome. I really do.
Cool. Well,
Thank,
appreciate it.
thank you,
And
Victor. Thank you.
yes,
We're really focused on bringing all the positive stories because I've mentioned this on the show before that
Man, for some reason I can't hear her.
Oh, can you hear me now?
well, I can hear you. You can keep talking.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That there are negative memories commingled with positive memories, but if we can do anything that we can in our power to just spark the positive memories, it kind of smooths out the negative memories that we might have from our growing up years. And that we're here to spread love and to spread joy, and to remember, to help people remember the blessings, and the good fortune that we had.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Speaking of your brothers, Robert has helped us quite a bit, and we thankful for we thank him for that. And he's helping me with Ronnie, Jay Douglas again,
Uh-huh.
Lee Brockman from Hereford, and
Man,
we're gonna get
man.
Tony Ellis from Amarillo High. And we're trying to get David McAdoo, man. If you're in contact with David McAdoo, we would love
I'll
to have
try.
him. Yeah,
I'll
that would be
try.
very
Yeah.
good.
I'll try.
And
Um, Man, the last time I saw Lee Brogman was at the dealer store in Lubbock. Oh God. It was probably about 25 or so years ago.
okay.
Maybe 25, 30 years ago. Yeah. He was a coach at Odessa High when I saw him.
Oh wow,
And
that's
then
cool.
and the funny thing, because I'm Facebook friends with Vincent Brown, and me and Vincent were in the same class, but he went to Hereford. But when me and Vincent were sophomores, he was teammates with Lee Brogman. He was one of the few sophomores on the varsity when we played them. And but I remember I was on one of his conversations on Facebook, and Lee Brogman's sister chimed in on something, and I asked, I'm like, hey, would you happen to be related to Lee Brogman? And she said, I sure am. That's my baby brother. And I'm like, okay, wow, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's
What
But
cool.
what year did you graduate, Victor?
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in '87.
87. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to convince some of the girls from your class of 87, Deborah Juarez, Summer Smith.
Smith.
Yes, Debbie Juarez she's my cousin,
Hmm.
and some others. So I'm
I
doing
didn't
my
know that.
best.
I did not
Yeah,
know that. I did not know that. Yeah,
yeah.
you talking about
She's
the
my
one? You talking about Debbie and Abilene, right?
yep.
Yep,
She's my
yep. I did
cousin.
not know that. I
She's
did
my
not know
crazy
that.
ass cousin.
Yes, she is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, we're trying to put those. I already got a date for that football with Brockman and those guys, so we're looking forward to that. So we're gonna hopefully bring many more. But anyway, Victor, thank you again, man. We appreciate it,
Thank you
and
for
Thank
having
you.
me.
we
It was great. It was great hanging out with y'all.
okay.
Thanks so
We'll
much.
see you in a few weeks, right?
I'll be here.
Yeah, the 24th.
Fourth, yes, sir. I'll be here.
All right. Now, I need one of the guys' email addresses.
Which
Uh,
one?
Denny.
Danny, I'll get it for you.
Yeah,
I'll get it
that's the
for
only
you.
one I need, brother. All right, my
Okay,
man.
no problem. I'll get it
Yeah,
for you.
enjoy the rest of your day. You take
You
care.
too.
Thank
Y'all
you.
take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh, how fun to have them agree to come on today.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. It's really cool of them. Let me, like Linda, who is out shopping with a classmate. I mean, she didn't have to do this, and she did. She took the time and hung out with us. So that was really cool of her. So hey, we got to let's just 10 more minutes, and we'll shut it down. But I want to go over some more of these shows we've done. I want to bring up the Phibbs brothers and Dean Tagle's their episodes, and the reason why I want to bring them up is we had their family, a lot of them chime in through YouTube because when you comment during the show, we see it and we can display it, and a lot of the sisters for the Phibbs brothers were bringing up things that happened, and same thing with Dean's. They're his daughters and his sister at least were bringing things on and made the show very organic. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Lisa?
I love that. Those two shows, we had the most viewership participation, and it did make for a much more organic, authentic, and livelier show because they would say, ask them about this or whatever. And so I love those shows because of the interaction, and I wish more people would come on live and participate. Don't be shy,
Yeah, don't be shy. So
it adds layers of character to this program. So come on, be
Bring it.
tasteful. Yeah, but bring it.
It can be. It doesn't have to be tasteful. Come on, this is
I know.
our show. We had that one show a year before about a guy getting naked on stage.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, a classmate got naked on stage singing.
And we had a show where somebody was inebriated on the show, and that was pretty darn funny.
Yeah, it was. It was.
It was.
Hey, before we go, bring up your cousin Jerry Serrano.
Oh my gosh, you know what? That was a really delightful show for me because I said at the beginning that I really don't know him at all. I mean, I think he was in elementary. I mean, like a little bitty kid when we graduated high school, and I did not know his accomplishments or his involvement in the music. We found out about that because we had Curtis Peoples mentioned him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He did.
Yeah, he's the one that mentioned him. I'm like, oh, I had no idea that Jerry was just, as accomplished and prolific and involved in the songwriters show or workshop that he does, and as a teacher, and I didn't know he was a composer. I learned so much about him.
And now
And
he's a professor now.
he's a professor, a music professor. Yeah. So that was really, really delightful. And I still have yet to play that episode for my mom. I need to do that. I know she'd be really proud of him.
She'll enjoy it. Yeah. So, a couple more. I remember the '82 football players were on, and I remember one. Oh geez, just went brain dead. Who mentioned it? But anyway, they were playing Lubbock High. Billy Yarbrough brought it up. They were playing Lubbock High in Lubbock High. I don't know. I wish I would ask them how they got invited, but they went back to Plainview, got cleaned up, and went back to Lubbock to go to a party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and somebody pulled a gun on him or something.
Well, no, they pulled out a gun.
Because somebody was in a fight, right? They were going to
Well,
get jumped.
they were talking to the local girls and the local guys, and they appreciate that. So they went out, and then
Did he pull a shotgun?
had a shotgun, and he pulled it out, so they were able to get away. And I was, I'm trying to get those guys back on because I want them to go, Yarbrough, I want to go more in detail about that incident. See, I want to find out how they got the invitation.
Hilarious. I loved also having Leah K. Lyle when she talked about her time at being Miss Texas. One, she's my friend. We were cheerleaders together. She's beautiful, as beautiful today as she was, and she's just a remarkable human being inside out. But I loved that she was able to share a funny story, because to me, Leah Kay has always been very poised and put together, and there's a lot of training to that, and so she's always composed in such a gracious way. But for her to tell that story of her in her Miss Texas car, going to the store and having no makeup on, and that was a requirement to always be put together, and she wasn't this particular instance, and these guys were waiting to see who was going to get in that car. Do you remember that story?
Oh yeah, they were going to rob her, weren't they?
No,
or
they
did?
No, they didn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. They wanted to see
Okay.
who
Oh yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and she wasn't going to go to the car because she just walked by them, and they were like, "Oh, well, that's not her," because she wasn't all made up. They made a
Yeah.
comment. It wasn't derogatory comment, but it was like, "Oh no, that there's no way that's her."
Okay, I remember that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, Summer Smith, we had her show Summertime in Nashville. Here's a class of '88, I think, who went to Nashville, try to make it big, be a country singer, and she maybe she didn't make it as a big solo artist or being a band, but she made a very successful career being like a session musician who got paid very well. So you know what? Bravo to her, and she's supposed to come on here and tell us because she had something else possibly going on, and she wouldn't reveal it at that time. But we need to reach out back to her and see if
Yes,
if
yes, we
she has
do.
done that. So
Yeah, I didn't know Summer, but it was really nice to get to meet her and share about her experience. And I was really proud of her, and I loved. I mean, she has such a vivacious personality. You can tell that she's the kind of person that walks into a room and just lights it up.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I knew her because I was dating a girl who was a sophomore, and her sister was from Summer's class. And then so when I was over there, she would come over every once in a while. So that's the reason I knew her. So let me show
Yeah.
one more comment. Another comment from Lydia who said, "Hey, Lisa, Flo, got to run and listen to the rest of the podcast today. You guys do a good job. Keep it up. Hope we can meet sometime." Absolutely, we appreciate it.
Oh, Lydia,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. We really appreciate you, and I
She
can't wait to
has
meet you in person.
she has been very, very helpful with Hereford guys, the Hereford football players. Because I reach out to her and say, "Hey, can you hold this game?" And even though if can't get hold of them directly, but she can find people who can find people and then go on and find that person. So thank you, Lydia, for your support and helping us. And I know that Lisa owes you about a dozen margaritas by now. So she's gonna pay it up on my behalf. So
Yeah,
thank you, Lydia.
for sure.
Let's see what else. What are
Oh,
we?
I want to talk about the cheerleader episodes.
Okay, go for it. Real quick.
I've shared before. Well, those
86 and 84, right?
80. Yeah, we had two cheerleader episodes. 84, which it was 84 varsity cheerleaders, but Leah Kay and Liz were cheerleaders when I was a varsity cheerleader my senior year. But regardless, those shows were so fun for me because it made me reminisce about my time in cheerleading, and it's the thing I lived for, and it was just fun to hear their perspective of their experiences, varsity cheerleader representing our high school. And I think we all feel the same way. It was just such a tremendous honor, and they were all just beautiful young ladies then, and still are now, and it was so fun to hear their stories.
Cool. Yes. I want to bring up Evangel Christian Academy. It was Eric Summers and Renee Carey who's on the show, and I just remember Eric telling us that he did everything he could to get kicked out of that school because he wanted so badly to go back to Plainview Public
You
School.
mean Renee? Renee
Renee
wanted to.
Carey. Yeah, Renee Carey. Yeah, he did 2-3 things that he thought for sure he would get kicked out, and then he'll have to go to Plainview because he would be banned from Evangel. So that was very funny. Let's see. I want to bring up the second Hereford show, and the reason why is that's the first time that we brought in a surprise guest. We brought in Kerry Beard, and he surprised Raymond Martinez and Robert Braddock, and you can see Robert going Kerry. So it was a very nice surprise. And we said, what was the other one? We surprised Danny White with the a cappella singers. The actual he was the, what do you call him? He was the teacher, but he was the teacher that taught them sing, I guess.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah, he was
and
the
they're-
choir director.
choir director. That is the choir director, and then we did. What was another one we did with a surprise? Kendall Bryant, the director. We brought
Yes.
in his drama teacher, and he is very ecstatic that
He
that
got
was,
emotional. I
he
mean, that was,
did.
yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of, some of the emotional people got a little emotional. I mean, like Dean Takel. I mean, he got emotional a couple of times with Coach
Coach Bill.
Coach Billingsley, and there's a few others that got a little teary eyed. So I was, like, oops. There was a sports on ESPN. Roy Firestone was his name, and it seemed like every person he brought on, by the end of the show, the guests were crying.
Well,
If
that's a testament to what we just talked about when Mrs. Kirsch was on and Victor was on, of how impactful teachers, coaches, even principals were in our lives, that they really help shape who we become, who we have become as adults. And so a lot of people have been very, very touched, indelibly touched by our teachers and coaches. So, to actually witness that emotion on our show is why we do the show.
yeah. Do you remember that movie, Jerry Maguire?
Oh my gosh, yes. I had you
At
at
the
hello.
end, whenever Cuba Gooding Jr. was on, and he was on that Roy Firestone, and he was like, "I'm not gonna cry, Roy. I'm not going to cry." Well, he ended up crying because he told him about his contract, that his extended contract that he received, and it was worth like 5-7 million, and so he started crying.
Yes, for sure.
But a couple more, and then we'll call it a wrap up. I've definitely enjoyed the football, but we have also had some baseball. We had that all out Amarillo baseball. We had like 4 different schools. That was really cool. One of the guys we talked to from the Amarillo, we're going to probably do 2 more Amarillo shows coming up. One's with, they brought up an 8th grade football coach that really touched a lot of people. That they're gonna bring have him on with 4 other guys who were coached by them in middle school. And then I'm going to try to get an all my Amarillo High baseball. But once you bring up Cash Terry,
Oh my gosh, I really enjoyed that show. It's just fun to talk to a fellow classmate, even though we weren't in the same class, who shares my passion for hiking. I could only ever, in my dreams, be at his level. I have too many. It probably would not be wise to hike the peaks that he hikes, having 2 knee reconstructions and 2 artificial hips. But, we spoke the same language and have the same passion about experiencing the outdoors in a challenging way like that. And it was just really cool to me that knowing somebody else from the flatlands of Plainview
yeah, I mean, you
enjoy the mountains.
you did when you said that you spoke the same language, because there's a few things you guys said. I'm like, what the fuck, what? I don't know what that was. Even if they in the contents of the conversation, I still don't know what the hell that meant. But man, what stands out for me is when they met that lady, and they were at that knife's edge or whatever they call it, and it was her last climb, and she was going to retire. Her last climb, and she fell to her death. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh man. Oh, and you recommended that one Netflix documentary, Free something,
Free solo.
Free Solo. I watched it.
Isn't
That
it
dude
crazy?
is insane.
Yes,
To
he
climb
is.
that flat ass stone wall with nothing to support him.
He just
Nothing.
he just had another feat similar to that, but he climbed a building.
Yeah, I saw the it's, I think it's in China, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's insane. I don't know if you remember that documentary though, the brain center that tells us be afraid, you're in danger, doesn't exist in him.
No.
One of my nephews has that. Like he could stand on the edge of a cliff at 14,000 feet. I mean, like on the cliff.
Yeah.
His brain doesn't say, hey, you're in danger. This could be the end of you. Be afraid. Doesn't exist. It doesn't
Well,
exist. So, I
I
mean, I
think
think you have to have you have to have respect for it because you can die. I mean, intellectually, they are aware that you can perish because so many climbers have. But, I pray for Cash. Stay safe. Do the right
Yeah.
thing. But yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I
it's
think the
unbelievable.
key word, and correct me if I'm wrong, that when it comes to the climbers, is whatever you're going to do, you got to commit to it. You have to commit. Because
Oh
if
yeah,
you
you cannot have
half-ass
doubt.
that, and then you're going to fall to your death. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You have to commit on what you're going to, and that's what that kid was doing. And I think too, though, a little Hollywood thing, I guess I could say that. Remember, there was that one, the Karate Kick, I think it was called, where when he had to jump across to grab it, and he kept falling. To me, I was like, I bet he's doing that on purpose just to build up the when he does that without the equipment. You know what I mean? I think he
Mm-hmm.
had no issue doing it, but I think just for the documentary, he was doing it missing on purpose because he had his harness on. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
think. I
yes.
don't know if he did it anyway.
Yeah, possibly. But you're right. You have to commit. I mean, there are, I mentioned my hike on the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. I mean, like, there's no going back. Once you're on the trail, there's no one coming to get you, and there is no going in reverse. You're committed. You got to
Yeah.
get to the end. And, it's probably the scariest thing I've ever done. But I'm terrified of heights, and that I'm not going to let fear own me. One of my biggest things is face the thing that you're afraid of. Then it won't be so fearful,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a couple more things, and guys, we're gonna call it a wrap. The STS 30s is something that we implemented a new segment to our show. STS, as I guess most people know, means shoot
The shit.
shit, shoot the shit for. Our goal is 30 minutes, but we've had shows from 30, 45 to an hour, but it's just a shorter show where people it's not about the past, it's more about what they have accomplished now and what they're doing now, and that's what the STS started. And a couple of the very first ones were Phyllis, when she told us a lot about the Plainview history, and then also Danny Andrews. And what do we say about Mr. Andrews?
Oh my gosh, that man has an encyclopedic mind. Both of those people do, both Phyllis
Yeah,
and
yes.
Danny. But Danny is in a field all his own. I am mesmerized and in awe of that man's mind. His mental capacity to organize memories with such intricate detail is mind-boggling to me. Like, what does he take? I want to know his
I
secret.
know. I know. I mean, that dude knows everything. And then what about when we had Reed Rowell in his book?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I cried on that show, and I was so moved by his book. Um, and I'm not a particularly religious person. I'm a very spiritual person, but I was just very moved at the weaving of his stories with the passages that were moving to him and were reflective of his journey. It was a very powerful episode, and I'm super proud of him. And I think he's a very inspirational. His story is very inspirational. And if anybody is struggling out there with any kind of addiction, watch his show. Reach out to him if you feel inclined to do so. I think that he would welcome that.
Yes, and definitely the book. I was
Yeah,
trying to see. I
definitely.
don't think I have his book in here. It's definitely a good book. It took me about a week and a half to
Overflow.
read it. It overflow, and then it took Lisa, 2 hours. And then let's bring up our classmate Steve Olson. Wow, what a life he's had that he's
I am so
accomplished.
proud of him. I'm so proud of what
Absolutely.
he's doing and what he's done. And he is a stellar human being. And he has really put himself on the map internationally for his commitment to ecological farming. And what a brilliant person and stuff.
Yeah, him and Cindy, his wife. I mean, that's
Yes,
definitely a
yes.
teamwork right there. And what's cool about Steve, what he does, I mean, he mentioned on Friday mornings, they go to the Broadway Brew, and I know he mentioned that Jimmy Bodicker, Mark Lee, and other men and some women, show up just to, I guess, to drink some coffee and just talk and
Yeah, and build friendship, commune with
reflect
each other.
on reflect on what's happened or what might happen. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and I also want to say about Steve, when he and Cindy were on our one of our sweetheart shows the previous year,
the
that
first one,
yeah, I didn't he made me cry when he told me a story about my
Oh,
dad.
yeah.
And I had no clue that Steve had a relationship, a sweet friendship with Daddy, and that really, really touched my heart and made me cry. And yeah, I've never forgotten it.
Well, let's don't turn on the teary
No, I'm
eyes
not going
again.
to. I've
Well, here's my turn. The last show, and then we'll say goodbye. Is when I have my daughters. I mean, they have nothing to do with Plain. Oh, they do because their dad's from Plainview. But I just wanted to have them on, and they moved with their mom in Chattanooga after our divorce, and so they've been raised mostly by another man. But we've stayed in touch. I try to travel and see them. They've come see me. And I mean, these two young ladies have grown up to two beautiful women, and Riley is graduating in May. And then, of course, Maya's going to be a junior next year. So, I love him to death, and I'm going to be there in May to watch Riley graduate. And but anyway, that's one definitely that touched my heart, and I'm just amazed how these girls have grown up.
It touched my
So,
heart too because I've never met them, and it gave me the opportunity to see another side of you, Flo. I've not had the opportunity to see you. I just know you as my dear, dear friend and brother from another mother. I've not seen you in dad mode,
there
and
you
it
go.
was really kind of fun to see your interaction with them and their response to you, and how obviously they are so different from each other.
Oh, yeah.
And how they interact with you. It was fun. It was just so much fun and delightful, and they are so beautiful. Oh my gosh, and so
Yeah, thank
smart.
you.
And you are very, very blessed, my friend.
I
Very
am. Yeah,
blessed.
Maya's an extrovert, and then Riley's the introvert. So
Hmm.
absolutely. Well, guys, 2 years has gone, and I didn't really know when we first got together that we would even last 6 months, or I mean, even sooner, because as Linda mentioned, we were just doing class of '83,
Hmm.
and then I remember seeing Bill Harris. He's an Elvis impersonator. No, but no, he's something else.
He's an Elvis entertainer.
Yes, and you know what? It'd be cool to have him on and talk about what he's doing and remember. And then he brought in Cash Terry and forgot the girl's name. Was it Stacy, I think. But anyway, but and then from there, like you always say, it just grew some legs and just took off. And and yeah, I couldn't have done this without you. And I thank you, Lisa, for like, saying yes to me. And you didn't hesitate. You said yes, even before I told you what it was all about. You just said yes. I mentioned Plainview High School, nostalgia and podcast. She was like, "Yep, I'm in." Like, okay. I said, you didn't read the contract that you're never going to get paid on this. No, I'm kidding.
No, and truth be told, truly, we really didn't know what the hell we were
No,
doing.
we didn't. I mean, I had some inclination, but I mean, just trying to find out I was testing with Andrew Dunlap, Patrick Smith, Tommy Love on different other platforms. On this platform, there was another. I mean, it was like you say, it was trial by fire, and we've come a long way,
We've come a
sister.
long
We've
way
come
from
a
just
long
doing our
way.
recordings on Zoom to getting professional equipment. It's been really, really fun. I didn't think we'd be here 2 years later. It's hard to believe
Yeah,
it's been 2 years. I mean, it's like somebody pinched me. Like,
I
really?
know it flies, man. It has flown. So, but we all owe to our guest who've been on the show. Thank you guys for the last 2 years, and also the classmates and other people from the other cities who have watched our videos and continue to watch them, our episodes, and we thank you. And yes, this would be cool. We can monetize this thing and make a little money, but I mean,
That's not
but I
why we're
told
doing it.
no, yeah, but I told Lisa I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that anymore. I'm not worried about how many views each episode. I'm not. I'm getting my satisfaction. What I've always have with the NLRs and me being on the '83 committee is getting the satisfaction of our classmates or other classmates, and enjoying the time being on our show, the laughter, the crying, whatever. That's my monetization right there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Completely.
and that's what I love about this. And guys, don't be afraid. Don't be strangers, man. We provide questions. Lisa and I have gotten so great at this, at how we can continue the conversation. Come and sit with us for 1.5 hours, and let's go back in time and relive what we grew up in the beautiful town of Plainview. So
Yes, for sure. And I want to second the gratitude that I feel to every single person who's agreed to take time out of their busy lives and their schedule to come hang out with us, to share their stories, to reminisce, and to be a part of this passion project of ours. It's not some big fancy thing, and it's our gratitude is not to be taken lightly. We really, from the bottom of our hearts, are so grateful, and to all the viewers that support us and who have commented and who have encouraged us to keep going. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This
yeah,
could not, if we don't have a guest, we don't have a show. So,
you guys don't want to hear us talk, so we need to bring in other people. And
yeah,
again, 2 years, and we've have able to get someone from, again, a class of '95. She's been on TV for 25 plus years on on the Ranger station on the major league level. I mean, she has agreed to come on our little show. And yes, she's from Plainview, but she didn't have to. She didn't have to say yes. She's a busy woman. She has her own podcast, and again, she's interviewing players, Rangers players. I mean, she's up there, and we're gonna hopefully we can fit her in the schedule. We're gonna have her on, Emily Jones. So thank you.
yes,
So,
that'll be great. I
and
can't
then
wait. I'm super
we'll
excited.
probably hopefully we'll get Shaquille O'Neal, Peyton Manning, George Clooney, Brad Pitt. We get those guys on, and they're high school classmates.
That would be awesome.
I know, right? That would be.
Yes.
We'll be just sitting there, awestruck.
They're just people like you and I who put their pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah, but they have the Gucci pants. They got the Prada. And
That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Oh,
and I was thinking, it would be really fun to do another NRR.
yeah. Actually, I've been talking to Sherry Hunter, because she was a help at the beginning. But yeah, I told her we need to do a show about NRR and talk about. I think this. You know me. I'm a control freak.
No,
Yeah,
really?
I'm very organized, and I guess that's OCD I have. Maybe I don't know, but I'm very. I gotta have things planned out. I got everything. I gotta have all that stuff.
And that's
just
why
don't-
this show is successful because of all
Oh,
that.
thank you. Yeah, I'm not half-assed. No, I'm never in anything I'm all I could have done. But yes, I agree. So I will start that text again. I'll include you with it, and I think. Again, we're too late because we're February. I just don't want to throw shit together, but we'll either do it in the fall or maybe the first of next summer. But yes, I totally agree with another NR would be cool as hell in Dallas.
Yeah,
We'll
the
do it in
one that we
Dallas.
had at the Gaylord Texan was off the charts.
Yes,
That,
but I loved the Aloft though.
that
because
was fun too. It was more intimate.
Exactly, it was more intimate. We had a pool, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
So definitely want to do that. But
Yeah, the Gaylord Texan was fun just because the vibe, it was a real party vibe, but it was very dispersed and loud, and you couldn't really, people were there inside dancing. It was more dispersed, but it was a blast. But yes, the Aloft one was a lot more intimate, a lot more conversations and laughter, and that was fun.
And then it was our first one, and there was that band, that '70s band, fucking kicked ass.
Yes, they were awesome.
They dressed to the '70s. Oh, they rocked it. And they they came to Houston a year later. I took my ex-wife there, and she's like, and then they start playing the music. Man, she got into it. She's like, "Thank you. I didn't think I thought this was gonna be a shitty show, but they did."
No,
a really
those
good
guys,
job.
they're great entertainers. That was a lot of fun. So much fun.
Well, my sister
I know.
from another mister. Thank you for
Thank you.
2 great years, and I look forward for many, many more. So,
Same.
all right, guys. Next Friday again, we're gonna have Ginger, Belle, and William Hancock. Our Valentine's edition. It's gonna be on a Friday, not on Tuesday. This is gonna be on a Friday. So, anyway, go Knuckle, guys. There's my camera. Go Knuckle, and then peace and love. Peace and love, guys. All
I
right.
can't make a heart. My surgery
Oh,
hand
yeah,
still
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
want to cooperate with me.
I heard that. So, I guess Tuesday we'll get together and come up with questions. I get that to the cute couple. Anyway, goodbye, guys.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.